Hey guys, um, Carrie here. I want to talk a little bit about um, schizophrenia, and someone asked me recently to do another video on uh, more videos on schizophrenia. Well, I've recently, began to give it a little bit more thought um, because schizophrenia runs in my family, and I want to talk about what causes it. And I've mentioned stuff like this before, and I've given links to a link to Jalila Starr's video called Higher Perspective on Schizophrenia, and I'll post a link to that here where she goes into more of the technical kind of information about what it is and comparing it to an internet connection. What it is a lot of us are pre-wired before birth um, with a way to communicate with the other side. Now, when I say the other side, I want to make it clear that I don't mean the gloom and doom, negative meaning of other side. When I say the other side, I mean, I've heard over and over people say that this is an illusion. Um, this is a hologram, holograph, whatever, whatever you want to call it, and that when the veil lifts, that we're supposed to be able to see and communicate with the dead, or the people that have already crossed back over. So I believe that this is more fake. This is the dream, and the other side is the real, because when our souls are created, we don't have a physical dense body like this. But when we come here, our memories are wiped. We don't remember what we're supposed to be doing. We don't remember our missions, our life blueprint. We don't remember what it's like to be a soul. So we think we come here, our memories are wiped. We're indoctrinated firmly to believe that this is reality, that this is all that there is. And then we're thrown Bibles or whatever and said, oh, well, when we die, this is the only thing, the only life that we're ever going to have. Well, that's bullshit. So, and I don't know how far along in the rabbit hole you've been, but that's bullshit. So, when I say the other side, we're supposed to be able to communicate with the other side. I don't mean to say it like, oh, the other side, and it's all ominous and dark. I just mean our friends and our family that's already crossed back over. And I actually have a cousin that can see them. Um, and we have the clairs. We're supposed to be um, able to see, hear, and feel. I mean, we're supposed to be able to have all of that. I mean, psychic abilities. But the indoctrination, where we believe that this is all that there is, all we're meant to do here, especially in the United States, is go to work. If you don't eat, you don't, I mean, you don't work, you don't eat, right? Well, you know, maybe that's how it is right now on this planet because of the cabal and Team Dark or whatever. But do we really think that that's all we're here for? Do we really believe that? And the more religious you are, the more you hold on to these false belief systems, this false light. The religion is a false light, believe it or not. And I was very religious. I mean, I'm not going to say very religious, but I was raised Southern Baptist. I went to church every Sunday. I read the Bible. And the more I held on to that, it's like that switch, like a switch can just be turned on remotely by your guides at a specific time. Whenever you're ready, they're ready to wake you up. And it's like a switch that they turn it on. And now all of a sudden you have this ability, and you can see things and hear things that nobody else can hear, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm going crazy, I'm hearing voices, I'm seeing things that and I'm having these thoughts, these delusions, and what's going on. And that's what happened to me. Well, because of that indoctrination into the false light religious belief system, and I held on to that, and everybody around you, they're not aware, they're not awake, they're not consciously aware that there is anything else, because they've had their memories wiped too. And the medical profession isn't prepared to handle an awakening of that sort. So they're just going to go by the book and, give you these medications. Well, the medication closes that line of communication, and it's like a block. It's like putting a filter in there to keep that communication from going through. And then now all of a sudden you've got that line that was open, and trying to get you used to that. I mean, and if you had a shaman, you wouldn't probably go to the mental institution. But I did. I mean, I all of a sudden I was having these thoughts of, you know, a black feline and like feline beings and vampires or whatever, which would be a feline person. But I mean, and that we were on a ship, and I was Commander Shepard from that video game. Mass Effect. But it was, all of these thoughts that were coming through, and it was messages coming through, and I didn't know how to assimilate all of that information. So basically, the resistance to those messages coming through, the resistance to that, and not knowing how to handle that, it's a gift. And I've said it's a gift before. I've had people say, oh, well, it's not a gift, honey. I'm sorry. Maybe, I mean, depending on the evolution of your soul and how high level, and I'm not trying to be, you know, hierarchical by saying that, but really in reality, I hate that word, reality. Um, the level of your guides and how high vibration they are, or you are as a soul, your origin, the place you're from, your mission, your specific mission for this life, you might not have as much protection from the darker entities or the darker energies, as some other people. And so you might sometimes get negative voices and scary shit that's coming through. And so that's why people get that. That's why people have these horrific, terrifying experiences with it. And they're like, oh, well, it's not a gift. It's not a gift. Well, yes, it is, but you got to learn how to handle it. You can ask Archangel Michael to help coat you in an armor of protection and help the entities that, or whatever it is that's attached to you. I mean, you might have um, a person that was murdered or something. You go into Walmart, and you're a light. You are a light being. I mean, you probably are a light being. I don't know. I know for sure that I am. I think I'm like some kind of star, like my origin. I'm not for sure on that. I'm actually going to have a session with Jalala Star um, next month. I'm going to pay, it's going to be $140 for the session, and then for that to be recorded to get some of those questions answered. I did actually have a QHHT session yesterday, but I was not able to be hypnotized. I just had, I mean, and that's crazy. I'm going to do an update on that to let y'all know what happened. But yeah, the reason why we're schizophrenic is because we don't know any better. There is no such thing as schizophrenia. It's called a brilliant mind in a world that's dim. So if you're having the scary voices, you need to do whatever you can to ask your guides for protection. Get some crystals and burn some sage, and tell the energies that are within you, that are near you, attached to you, following you or whatever, you need to tell them that they can't be with you anymore. And you can be loving and gentle about it. Because you might have a little girl that was murdered by her dad, or a little girl that was kidnapped and tortured, and then all of a sudden she sees this light and she's like attached to you. You don't want to call it an evil presence. It might make you have thoughts and things that aren't yours, and you can ask the universe, is this mine? Is this mine? Because 9 times out of 10, those negative voices or thoughts or whatever emotions are not even yours. So that's my advice for if you're having. I've never really had really scary voices. The only time I've ever had scary voices or visions is when I was relapsing on meth and coming down. And let me tell you, I saw some shit that would scare anybody, the hardest person out there, priest, whatever you are. That shit I saw would scare anyone. And I did get some ickies, astral nasties attached to me, and those were removed yesterday. So, but yeah, that is what causes schizophrenia. I'm going to post a link to the Jalila Star information. Um, if you're taking medication, of course, you don't want to just stop taking your medication. I did take medication at one point, but I do not take any of that anymore, and I'm doing great. Of course, I'm still going through some trauma and, dealing with emotional clearing, and I've got my situation is stressful. But as far as a couple of nights ago, for example, I was laying in bed and I got this flash, an image of like a reptilian type person, but she turned and looked at me, and she was beautiful, smooth, greenish blue skin, really bright, beautiful blue green eyes, and the hair. The hair was kind of back, like I guess in a braid or something is what it looked like. And she just kind of turned and looked at me, and I just got that flash. Well, call it a hallucination, whatever you want to call it. If you go to the hospital and say, "Yeah, I'm seeing reptilian people looking at me," what are they going to tell you? "Oh, you're sick. That doesn't exist." Oh, come on now. Give me a fucking break. But I hope this information helps. If y'all are struggling with being told that you're sick, you're not sick. You are brilliant. So, anyway, that's all I got to say on the subject right now. I actually have a couple of other videos planned. I don't know. I might do one or two more tonight, but okay. Um, if y'all have anything to add or ask me or anything, please do so. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.